Okay, so for the balustrade, let's have a look at the final again. So here's the render of the final, and for the balustrade, we got the top rail, the baluster, and the bottom rail. So I've already find some picture that we're gonna use for as a reference for the profile of each element. So I'm just gonna import them first. So that's the bottom rail profile. At this stage, the size doesn't really matter. We're gonna rescale it after, just like we did for the floor plan. Handrail top, and balusters. Okay, like we did before, just gonna explode it first, make it as a group, then get inside, use the tape measure tool, go over it, and press 42 to resize. As you can see, the existing house that we had didn't change in scale, and that's what we want. Explode, make a group, explode, make it as a group, resize it, 42, Okay, so now we got a whole reference image. Just gonna put them a bit closer, and for the meantime we're just gonna hide all the other layers. Stem beams. Okay, zoom in. Okay, we're gonna first start with the bottom rail. So we get a bit closer, and so now we're just gonna trace over the outline or the profile of the bottom rail, and then we can use that to extrude it to create the bottom rail. So let's press 42 back here. Yeah. Go to middle point here. So I'm doing this so that when I do that side, I'm gonna copy and mirror it to the other side, so it's everything has the same dimension or same shape. So I'm gonna use this time the 2-point arc tool just to create those rounded shapes. So can move it and make sure that it's constrained to that plane. Okay, that's good. Make sure that you snap to the points. Let's make it a straight line here. Okay, here. Okay, so now we got this face here. Just gonna move it up. Gonna delete that line. So we got this. So to mirror that, we're just gonna create a copy first. Move tool and press Control. And now we're gonna use the resize tool, well, the scale tool. Take it 1 point. Okay, I'll just show you. First, we're gonna move it a little bit more because it's gonna flip on the other side. Scale it, and to get the exact size, you need to be to -1. So it was -1 at the bottom, or you can just type in the value, and now you can just move it so it snaps to that point there. Okay, whoops, now delete that line. So now we get the profile of the bottom rail, and if you use the push-pull tool, well, that's it. So now we're gonna repeat the same thing for the top rail. and delete. Well, as you can see, yeah, I think it's better to get it flat, so maybe you can just delete those lines here and make it a big arc here. Oops. So now we get a profile for the bottom right. I guess we can go ahead and delete those images because they serve their purpose. Now for the baluster, we're gonna create the profile, and then we're gonna use the follow me tool to create that shape. And if you look at the baluster, there's like a three-piece. Like there's a square piece here, and there's the cylindrical part, and then another square piece. So for those one, we're just gonna create a rectangle, and because we know that length is 42, so just make sure it's 42. So here it's 85 by 42, and we're gonna take that face and just move it down to here, and take the line, move it so it's about the same distance. Okay, now we need to create that profile. What I'm going to do first, just to create a group so that when I create my line, it's not going to be connected to that shape. So we just follow the points, and on this one, I'm going to make an arc here. And I'm going to go into the middle of it and go back to the top and to close off that face. So now we got that face. What we're gonna do now is to revolve it 360 to create that cylindrical shape. So in order to do that, first I need to use the rotate not rotate tool, but I need to create a circle, but that's on the other axis. Wait. And to create that, first I'm just gonna create a square. Oops. Here. So I can use that because that's the plane I wanted to revolve around. And by creating a square, dummy square, I'm going to use that as reference to get that angle here. So create a circle, and now that it's on this face here, I'm going to press shift so it's constrained to that plane, and I'm going to move it to that point here and create a circle that's 21 millimeter of radius. So you get this here, and now we're gonna use that shape, and this is the profile. So like we did for the roof, select this shape first, click on the follow me tool, and then click on the profile. So now it went all around and created a balusters. And see, it's purple, so just gonna select everything, reverse it. Okay, let's just delete that image so you can clearly see what it looks like. And now we're gonna give some thickness to the bottom part and the top part, and because we know it's 42, so let's get inside the group. It's 41 up, no, it's 21 up, 21, and 21 down, and we're gonna do the same thing for this part here. 21 and 21 down. Let's delete this one So now we got a baluster. Make this one as a group. Select everything and transform it as a component because there's going to be heaps of them on the balustrade. And rename it as baluster. Okay. So now let's turn back on our exterior walls, our floor, and the post. And now you want to take your bottom rail. We're gonna extrude it to give it some thickness. Gonna do the same thing for the top, and we're gonna make them as a group so it's easier to move them around. And we're gonna rotate them and put them into position. Sometimes if you want it to snap to a point, like here it's snapping correctly to the floor, but sometimes it might not. One trick is to go into this style mode, like the back edges, and the shortcut for that is K. So now you can see the back line. It's easier to snap to each point. So here, snap it here, and press K again to get out of that style and to get back to the texture mode. Okay, so now we need to rotate that bottom rail and top rail so it's going that direction. Select both of them, select the rotate tool, go over one of the surface that's there, then turn 90 degrees. And then I'm gonna move that bottom rail so it's next to the post, and I'm gonna move it into place. I want it to be at the center of that post, so I'm gonna choose the middle point and press K so I snap to the middle point of the post. Oops, here. Then move it back up, and from the foreground, let's say 50, and then I want it to span it all the way to this post. So let's get into that group. You can either use the push-pull tool to move it and snap it here, or you can select that face and just that face and use the move tool. That's the same thing. Yeah, but with sometimes with the move tool it doesn't really snap into position, so I guess it's better to go with the push-pull. Okay. Now we gonna place the baluster. So I'm just gonna place it inside and chop it down a little bit. Let's move it, let's say 30. And I think I want a spacing of maybe 50 between each, let's say 90 between each baluster. So what I'm going to do is use the move tool, move it 90, give it a space of 90, and then multiply. Like before we created a post and we used the divide function to create some other posts in between, and this one we're just going to multiply. So let's give it a spacing of 90, and before I do that I'm just going to make one copy first. Oops. So it's 132, and then I'm gonna select those two, make it as a group, and inside that group I'm gonna copy the baluster, so I can select the whole balustrade in one click. So now I know that the from this point to this point is 132, so press the move tool, press the control to create another copy, type in 132, and I'm not sure how many I need to go all the way there, but I'm just going to input a random number. So I'm going to press multiply, see at the bottom, and okay, maybe 15. Press 15, and then it's going to make 15 copies. So I've done enough, so I'm just going to repeat the same process. Make a copy 132 and multiply by, let's say, 8. And I need one more. 132. Okay. So now I went out of the group, and now all the values are into one group. So if I didn't group it previously, I had to select them one by one and then make the group. But doing it this way just make it faster. Okay, now I need to place the top handrail. So select it, select one of the corner here, and try to move it into place so it snap onto the top of the one of the baluster. It's good here. Get inside that group and then push pull until it touch the post. So here you get a baluster or balustrade. So we're gonna do the same thing for this side and and for the back. So one way to do it is to group all those elements. Make a group and create a copy. Move this side, and we're gonna rotate them. Oops, try to stick to the blue face. Rotate them 90 degrees. And then put one side close to the post. So now what you can do is to get it inside that group, and first go inside the top rail group, and because you know if you press K it's going all the way here, and there's a face there at the end of the top rail. So what you can do is just select this. That's gonna select the top end face here, and now you can use the move tool and drag it all the way back here. And just put it back into place so you touch that post. You're going to do the same thing for the bottom rail, so you know it extends until here, and you know that face is there, so you just do a selection here, and now the face is selected, and you just move it back. And for the baluster, press K, then you can see all the balusters inside that wall. We don't need them, so just make a drag and make a selection until this one here. So those baluster are selected, and press delete. Oops, you have to get inside the baluster group. Delete. So now you get the balustrade for that side. And we're going to use those two elements. Create a copy, put them at the back. And then place that balustrade here. Oh, I forgot to create another post, so I'm just gonna create a new one, move it to 800, and put that balustrade into place. Get into the group, get in group of the top rail, select the face, move it back. And it's always good if you can find a reference point. As you can see, no reference point, it doesn't snap. So press the K and well, it still doesn't snap. So what you can do, instead of using the move tool, you use the push pull tool, and now you can snap it. The same for the bottom, snap it back. Now get inside the baluster group and delete those two. Get out, and you can see we're gonna move them just so it's more balanced. And well, as you can see, they are not centered between the posts, so just select the group and move it a little bit. Okay, so I get this side. And let's stick this balustrade, move it into place. Same as we did here, get into the group. This one. Delete the baluster that we don't need. Then resize the top rail. Resize the bottom rail. You can double click, it's going to resize to the same length. And because here we're going to have the stairs, so we just take this one, make a copy, and drag it along the red axis until it touches that post here. Okay, so here we got the timber balustrade. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna save first, and we gotta make the little timber ornaments that you can see here. So now that we're done with the timber balustrade, let's go back to our render, and now we're gonna build the timber ornament that's on the top. And it's exactly the same process as we done for the timber balustrade. First we're going to import some profiles, then create the line work. So let's just go over that again. So import, and where is this? I think that's this one here. Press OK, and get inside, explode it, make it as group, and resize it to scale. Take the tape measure tool, go over here, and it should, oh no, let's go this way. It's supposed to be 140. Press 140. Yes. So now we need to do this one here and this one. So same as we did for the top rail and bottom rail. You just create the shape over this, and for this shape here, so yeah, good circle there, and then we're gonna create the full circle by first creating one here and use the center point here and create copies around it. So I'll show you how it's done. Create the first circle, select that face here, that's the face that we're gonna replicate. Take the rotate tool, select the center of this first, select the center of that circle here, go up, press Control to get a copy, and set it at an angle of 90 degrees. And because we want 2 more, we're gonna multiply by 3. So now we got all 4. And what we can do, we can just do some cleanup, delete those 2 lines, and it's the same process for this one. Now we get big circle here and another one. So get to the center here. Oops. Sometimes to get the center point, you just need to go over one of the faces, then get in the center. Normally will snap to that center point. Okay, so we get one here, and let's make another one. Yep. One that's touching here. It's a bit messy, but yeah, that's how you do it. So now we do some cleanup. Okay, you can delete this, this. Oh, we can delete this as well. Okay, and now we're gonna do those shape here. We can use the circle tool. Okay, delete this line, delete that face, delete that face, delete this line here. As you can see, it's a really long process, but you can create those library parts and turn them into components, so next time you can just drag and drop and just be much faster. Okay, let's delete the extra faces. Okay, so now we got our face, and you can just extrude it, and for this one we're just gonna give it a thickness of 42. Oh no, let's just say 40. Oops, 40. Make it as a component. We're gonna call that bracket, and I'm just gonna move it into place. Set it so it snaps to the top of the post, and then we just need to rotate it. So here you get your bracket. So now we're gonna do the same for the lace for the top detail for this part here, but instead of showing you again the process, actually I've already created some components. So that's the one that I've done previously for the bracket. That's what we just have, and for the lace work here. So that's the images that you've seen before. Just delete this one. We're gonna use this. But first I'm going to place the lace work. Get inside this, select those faces here, and delete that. Oops. And extend this so it touch the other post. Okay, now we want that shape to be repeated all the way to here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick a line here so I can duplicate it, paste, and I need to multiply it by, let's say, 8. Get 8 of them, need a few more, select this, oops, multiply by 2. Okay, so now I get the face that I wanted. Now I need to extrude them back, but before I do that I'm just going to delete the line that's in between each shape. Except this one, because I just want the new faces to be extruded back. So push them back, and now you can delete this. Delete the one at the back so it's clean. So now you get the new lace work. That's the correct size. And because it's component, you can just make a copy, bring it here, and we'll make another one. So get the lace work on top. I'm gonna take the bracket, put it into place. Put one here. Another one. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna select those 3, make a copy, move them aside. While I have those 3 selected, select the scale tool, and now because they have a thickness, so there's more point, just make sure you take the one in the middle, then drag it to that direction. You see it's going to the minus direction, and then you press -1. So all the bracket will be the other way, and now you can just move them back into place. So now you get your bracket. We can take a copy of this, so we're gonna do the same at the front. Oops. Copy. I'll put it into place. Okay, now, so because here it's a bit longer, but remember this is a component. If we edit that, it's gonna edit the one at the back as well. So we're gonna right click and make it as unique. So now that's his own component, and if you edit that, the one at the back is gonna stay the same. So we're gonna stretch it again. So as we did before at the back, I'm just gonna trace a line there so I can duplicate that face. And okay, and now I'm just gonna stretch it all the way to the next post and take the face, make multiple copies, then do some cleanup, delete all the lines in between so it's ready to get extruded. Okay, so now we got our details for here. Take this, I'm gonna move it to the side. Okay. Um, Copy this bracket, make one here. Check this one. Let's take this, make another copy. Okay, this, make it unique. What's the best way to do this one? I'm gonna put it back up. We know it's gonna put a gun line, so we know where to stop. Gonna make a line here. Extrude those faces back so they disappear. Okay, there's some lines here that stayed there. What you could do is just try to delete the line that's close to the faces that you want to pull back. So let's delete those. And let's try pull back those faces here. Select one, shift, so you get the two face selected, and try to pull them back. Cool. So you see, because some of the line was still attached to those faces, now we can just delete what we don't want. Come on. Delete. Select those faces, pull them back so they're in line with the post. And here you can just create some line here. And select that face, extrude it back so it disappears. Sometimes it doesn't disappear, so you can just erase its line and the face will disappear. So now it's all cleaned up, we can just pull it back now. Delete. Okay, so now we got our details. So now I'm gonna add some more details. Let's have a look at the photos. So now you get this little thing and the ease bracket. Okay, so I've already created components and saved it to my own library. So I'm going to component and building materials, and this one's teardrop. So I can just drag it into the scene, and let's go back, building material, and ease bracket. So I get the ease bracket and the teardrop. So I'm just gonna put them into place here, and then gonna rotate them 90 degrees. Oh yeah, here, and make a copy. some more. Make more copies, so put some at the back as well. Oops, I think like I didn't press Control, so I didn't make a duplicate when I put them at the front, but it's no problem. We can just make another copy of this one that's here. I'm just gonna place the teardrop first and select all of them and make a copy. So select all those elements, press M, Control, get out the copy. Oops, try to snap it to position. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is gonna place the eaves bracket along the perimeter of their house. So first let's put it here. And let's rotate it first. So what I'm gonna do first is place one edge stencils on each of the face, and then I'm gonna duplicate them along each axis. So for this one here, rotate it degrees. Okay, so now we got all our brackets around. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another copy. I'm gonna space it, say 200, make it as a group, and now I'm gonna space that. I'm gonna make a copy all the way to here, and I want to divide that face maybe around 6. Yeah, the spacing is alright. So I'm gonna do the same for this face here. Move it 200. Select those two, make a group, and move it on here. Let's say 450, and we're gonna divide by 3. This one, actually, I'm gonna move that one so it's in line with here. Move it 200, make it as a group, and divide by 2. Bring it here. Move it 200. Select those two. All the way here. And divide by 3. And I'm just gonna move it this one back here. I'm gonna group all those brackets, so to select them, I'm just gonna turn off the wool layers, select all of them, make them as a group, create a layer, leave bracket, and move them down here. So now turn the wall layer back on. If you turn the roof as well, so you can see that it's supporting the roof.